September 1931. This was for me the first moment of some kind of realization. I was conscious for the first time of a deep response to Baba's pure love. I had not felt that intense, great spiritual love before. I felt at that moment complete love for Baba, and for the first time in my life experienced that ecstasy of divine love that the mystics experience. Such was the impact upon me, echoing day and night in my heart. Kitty Davey.
London, 1932. A long-awaited promise fulfilled. Meher Baba calls his close Western disciples to India for the first time. A flurry of newspaper articles appear. Friends and family are stunned. But the group is determined to go. Baba himself arranges every detail of the journey.
Meher Baba sent for 10 of us from England and America to come to India. Needless to say, the parents and relations of some of us did not approve of our going and leaving our work. How could we explain the spiritual purpose of the trip when we barely realized it ourselves? Kitty Davey.
The tour was to be as follows. Taking a boat from Genoa to Bombay, 3 weeks traveling around India, then a boat from Colombo to Japan to Shanghai, 3 weeks there for spiritual work, a visit to Kitty's brother Herbert at Nanking, across the Pacific to Honolulu, San Francisco, and direct to Hollywood, where Baba was to break his silence, then Canada, and back to England. Finally, after much preparation, the group boarded the SS Victoria, bound for Bombay. Among the party were Princess Nerina Machiavelli, an internationally renowned Italian actress and socialite married to George Machiavelli of Georgian nobility. Elizabeth Patterson, an American businesswoman. Kitty Davey, a music teacher from London. Margaret Crask, a well-known ballet instructor and owner of a ballet school in London. Delia De Leon, an actress. Minta Toledano, Delia's sister and also an actress. And Quentin Todd, a British actor and producer who had recently been traveling with Meher Baba in Egypt and whom Baba had sent to help escort the group to India. For many, this journey to be with Baba involved considerable sacrifice. Some had to give up jobs. Others moved out of their homes. And Margaret Krask even had to sell her ballet school.
The only way to go to Baba was to break all contracts and sell the school. As soon as the news of my unexplainable behaviour got around the dancing world, my telephone rang from morning to night, bringing me attacks from friends and enemies about my foolishness. We were possibly the first group of ordinary persons to embark on a trip of this kind. Margaret Krask.
The journey to India in March was pleasant, with an element of surprise, for Baba sent welcoming cables to us on the boat, reminding us of his orders not to sunbathe while crossing the Red Sea, to drink plenty of cooling drinks, and to keep happy and not to worry. Up to leaving London, we had been allowed to eat fish. After leaving London, no fish allowed. Not one detail did he leave for us to decide. Kitty Davey.
Also traveling with the group were 4 more women. Vivian Geeson, a dancer and protege of Nerina Machabelli's. Audrey Williams, a pupil of Margaret Krask's, who accompanied the party at Baba's request. Mabel Ryan, Margaret's partner at the ballet school. And Christine McNaughton, a waitress at the Knightsbridge Hotel in London, where Baba and the others stayed in late 1932.
Our party aroused a great deal of curiosity on the boat. It was the hot season in India and quite the wrong time for tourists to be going to the east. One of our parties, softened by sitting in the moonlight, told our story to some young man. This, later on, had quite serious consequences. Margaret Krask.
On April 6th, the party arrived in Bombay and were met at the dock by a group of Baba's men disciples. They stayed at the Hotel Majestic, and the next day, cars came to the hotel to take them to Kandavali, about 25 miles outside of Bombay, where Baba was awaiting their arrival. It was at Kandavali that the Western women met Baba's close Eastern women disciples for the first time. They were introduced first to Meher Baba's closest disciple, Mera. Then to Mani, Meher Baba's sister. Some of the other women in the ashram were Naja, Baba's cousin, who had known him since childhood; Golmai, the one Baba called his spiritual mother; Fraini, Mera's sister; and Khorshid, who met Baba as a child with her family in 1922.
Shri Ganesha Charanam. Shri Ganesha.
We were delighted to meet Mera and Mani and those we had heard so much about. They were charming and made us feel immediately at home. I remember they had brought a number of beautiful saris for us to wear, a splendid thing to do, as thereby the East and West were joined together by a common interest. Baba was happy to see the two groups mingling so harmoniously.
They said many people in India have kept silent for a period of time. Even for as long as 12 years, they knew of one man. But the unusual part of Baba's silence is that he goes every place, converses with all people by board, and is not shut up away from people. Baba's mother loves Baba, but does not comprehend his divinity. Jal, his brother, was with him 2 years before he believed it. Baba wrote on the board that afternoon, "I am the one reality." Elizabeth Patterson.
On April 9th, Baba and the Western group, along with some of the Eastern men disciples, went for a 3-day visit to Bandadara, where Lake Arthur is found.
Looking over Lake Arthur and the distant mountains, Baba said, "My original self is in all, and it is beautiful. I made it beautiful." I asked him if he saw it very differently from us, and he replied with a smile, "Very."
In many ways, these 3 days were the best, so free from cares and worries. There was one little disturbance only. Earlier on the boat, Audrey and Christina had met 2 quite nice men, and naturally they wanted to correspond with them. Baba answered, "No, nothing of the kind. You have all come out here to be with a spiritual master." It was hard for the young ones to understand, but they obeyed Baba's orders in this matter.